And we cooked up some beef back ribs. These are from Costco, just a pack. There are about 7 bones in here. We got an awesome smoke ring on there. Look at how wonderful those things turned out. These are fabulous. We're excited about this. Oh, you got to try these. They're super easy to make. And we did this on a stick burner offset, Oklahoma Joe. I'll show you just how we did it. Hey, it's Jeff from Barbecue Plus. Today we're going to cook up some ribs. These are beef ribs. These are a 7-bone rib. So there are 7 bones in here with the meat in between. Now, where these come from is right next to the ribeye. So the ribeye goes right on there, or the prime rib if it's the full big cut, as opposed to cutting into steaks. So there they are. You can see right in here where they scrape right into a little bit of the bone because they're trying to cut that as close as possible, preserving as much meat for the prime rib or for the ribeyes. But there is still a whole bunch of meat in between here on the ends. You've got some good meat in there. So we're just going to kind of pat these dry. This is going to be a really simple preparation today. So we're going to use some Holy Cow from Meat Church, and also this is a Suckle Busters SPG, salt, pepper, garlic. And this is just a real simple Texas way of doing things. First thing that I'm going to do is I am not going to take the membrane off. I'm going to score it a little bit, and what that does is it allows some of that rub to get inside of there, but I'm not going to pull that off because it's really not needed to. Let's hit this with a little bit of that Suckle Busters SPG and get it all over there. Now add a little bit of Meat Church Holy Cow. So we're going to give this a few minutes just to kind of chill out. That salt in there will kind of bring a little bit of the moisture up to the surface, become a little bit tacky. And then we're going to use the offset. This is an Oklahoma Joe offset. Over here. So we've got some good smoke rolling in there. I started with a bit of charcoal and then I added in some real wood to give it some great smoked flavor. This does require a little bit more attention than you would have otherwise if you're going to use a pellet smoker or maybe the big Kamado back here. This, because on this particular model, isn't super thick walls, so you don't have a lot of mass to really hold in that heat. So it's going to take me a little bit more fire management to be able to hold those temperatures. We're aiming for about 300 to 350 degrees. This will probably be about a 2-hour cook on here. We're going to put them with the bone side down, and then partway through that cook, we may spritz it just a little bit if it looks like it's drying out. So we're going to probably put them in aluminum foil, maybe add a little bit of beef tallow in there that I've rendered out and keep in the refrigerator. And by steaming inside of that aluminum foil, it'll really make sure that these are super tender. We'll pull them off, put a little bit of sauce on them, maybe a glaze or so, then maybe a few minutes back on to be able to set that, and then we're going to enjoy some great ribs. Again, not a ton of meat on these. It's not like a beef rib that's got big chunks on it, but this should be really good stuff. Excited for this. We're going to give it a few minutes for that moisture to come up, and we're going to throw them over here on that Oklahoma Joe offset and get the party started. There we go. I have done a few mods to this Oklahoma Joe. One of the things you can see in here is I stacked up a couple of bricks just inside. That way the heat that comes in is not going to completely hit the meat right away, but it's going to be directed up and diffused a little bit. Also got a water pan here, and that's going to keep the moisture in. And then over on this side I've got a bread pan that I cut the end off, and this forces the smoke to kind of stay up in the top a little bit and then go down underneath to be able to exit out through the stack. Probably need to fasten that on because it's just pushed up against there, but it should be good. And those are the 3 mods that I've done. Bricks down in the bottom to kind of block that a little bit. I do have plenty of a gap so you can get the fire through there. It just blocks that direct heat. And then the water pan to keep it moist in here. And then that bread pan over on the end to act as kind of a collector of the smoke on the top and forcing it down. So we're gonna just let these go. Alright, so we're about an hour and a half into this cook. I just checked it with my temperature thermometer thinger, and we were running about 185 degrees. So these are looking pretty good. The next thing that I want to do is I'm putting some tallow down on some aluminum foil. I'm going to drop those ribs on here, the bone side up, meat side down, and then put them back in here and finish them off. This will kind of steam them inside of here. That tallow is going to add a lot of rich goodness to it also. So let's go grab these guys and get started. Wow, that's looking really good. We're going to lay them face down there. They do get a little bit of a roll to it, but that's okay. And we're just going to put all of this nice tallow, and this was rendered out from a brisket that I did a little while ago. I'm just going to put it in here, and that's going to help it just steam, and that's going to absorb into there. This is going to be really, really good. So there we go, all set. We're just going to put them back on there and finish this cookout. We're looking for these to just push over the 200 mark. Really not looking at the temperature as much. That's a good guide, but we want to make sure that when we put this in, it's just super tender into that meat. So let's go roll these out for the rest of the cook. I just checked the temperature on these guys with my ThermoPro, and it showed that we're on about 185. The temperature did go down a little bit as my fire kind of died down a bit, so I stoked it back up again with some more charcoal in there, a couple more wood chunks. So those guys have been chilling out there for quite a while, about 2.5 hours that we've had them in there. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take them out of that foil, and we're going to put a little bit of barbecue sauce on there, I've got kind of a little mixture on there, and we're going to finish them off at a little bit of a hotter temperature. They've been bathing in that tallow, so they're going to be nice and juicy in there. The water pan is doing a good job of keeping it moist inside that cook chamber. So we're just going to spend a little bit of time, finish them off, and see what these taste like. Wow, that tallow is looking really good. So we've got some good pullback on these bones here because the meat kind of shrinks up in there. Those bones kind of pop out a little bit. So we're going to paint these up. A little bit of barbecue sauce. And we're going to put these back inside there, give them a little bit more time. What we want is for that barbecue sauce to kind of tack up a little bit, adhere in there, kind of caramelize a bit. We didn't put any of the barbecue sauce inside of here, just because I was afraid that if it got too hot on the bottom, since there's a lot of sugars in there, it's going to end up burning on the bottom, which that would be the top since we put them in upside down, if that makes sense. We are running a little over 350 and it's climbing. I opened up the vent on the end here so that we could get more air in. I think we're gonna open it up even a little bit more. More air means more heat. There they are. You can see our flame in there, our heat source. Looking good. So check those out. Those are barky. Those are beautiful. Oh, they smell wonderful. So we're going to start cutting into these. I'm going to go right in between those bones. Look at that. We got a good smoke ring on there. They're looking pretty good. They're juicy. Cut down in between each one of those. So now's the moment of truth. We're going to go in and give these a try. The barbecue sauce on here is just right. These are tender. They're juicy. Good smoky flavor to them. The beefiness on here comes through. The rub is just fantastic. That comes through also. Real kind of a Texas salt, pepper, garlic, but then we went in and added on that barbecue sauce, and that was a great idea. These are super, super tasty. 7 ribs, I think they were $23, $24 at Costco. So that is not bad. I am surprised there's more meat in here than I expected. And the meat is just fantastic. These are super barky, smoky, juicy, barbecue-y, salt and pepper. Yeah, this is a winner. We're going to do these again. Hey, I'd sure appreciate it if you'd give this a like, subscribe, give it a thumbs up, share it with somebody else. If you throw comments in here, I'll make sure and reply to them. I'd like to see if you've tried this, maybe what variation you've done, if you've got a little tip or a technique. Hey, I'm all ears. Let me know. Great to be able to do them with real wood on a charcoal. I think that flavor comes through more so than on a pellet grill. So, yep, I'd advise give this a try. Maybe go through my channel and find something else that inspires you. But make sure you go cook something great in your backyard this weekend. I'm from Barbecue Plus. Thanks for watching.